Hi, welcome to my video. So this video I'm going to be talking about Fedora 41. This is the Workstation edition. I installed this on one of my main computers. I did have Windows on the system, and the reason why I had Windows on the system and I was doing videos on it because, well, first of all, I'm getting sick and tired of Linux. Like I think Linux has so much potential that it can be the best of the best. I can see it. It has all the technology. It has a lot of people. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the most popular desktop, but there's a lot of developers that are very interested into GNOME. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of users, a lot. Not as much as Windows or Mac OS, but for an operating system, Linux is pretty popular. It is. It's well known. I mean, even Windows includes a subsystem of Linux inside their mainstream system. So I mean, Linux has a big market. You know, I mean, like a lot of people use Chromebooks as well, and the Linux kernel's on there. It's a modified kernel, but the kernel's there. Same as the Android phones. A lot of people use Androids. And the kernel's there. I know it's not Linux, but it still has part of the Linux kernel code. Like, it's still using the kernel. This is basically the core of what this desktop uses. You know what I mean? It's more freedom compared to Android and Chromebooks, but it's still like a Linux part of it inside there that actually does a lot of functions for the devices. Yes, it's locked down, but I'm just saying the kernel is pretty good. Linux has a lot of potential, though they do got a problem with their display server. They're using a very old X11, which is trying to get away from. I wish it I wish they just kill it off. Seriously, people think the X11 is great. They're using it now because they're having problems with Wayland. X11 is not great. Like back in the olden days, man, X11 was terrible. If people think that X11 is good now, it's not good. It's always been bad. Okay? Just because there's some problems with Wayland, it doesn't make X11 better. Okay? Because it's not. It's not better. And also, it's an old code. A lot of developers do not want to maintain it. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's hardcore maintaining, but it's probably still, some people maintain it a little bit, but it's a lot of developers do not like to work with the X11 code. It's very old. It's huge. I think when Linux became a desktop system in the early 2000s, I think that they should never adopted X11. I think that they should have done their own stack. It probably would have been buggy at first. It probably would be really crappy at first. But, right now, if they would have done it from then till now, we would have a whole different story when it comes to a desktop Linux system. The problem with Linux and what's dragging it down a lot is X11. As much as people like it, and they're still using it because users don't want to use Wayland, especially if you're an NVIDIA GPU user, they do not want to touch Wayland at all. There's a lot of Wayland haters, but there's a lot of people jumping on Wayland because Wayland has improved a lot, but it still ain't there yet. I think that Linux should have always adopted their own display server, their own API, their own windowing system. You know what I mean? They should never took X11 or X386 or whatever they're called nowadays. X11, X386, Xorg. It's all the same crap. They should have never touched X. They should have just let it die with Unix. It was good at the time. Like, I can understand them using it because it's better than nothing, right? But I personally think that they should have always just done their own thing because Linux was known for them always doing their own thing. And then, I just think X11 needs to die. And I know some people probably are big fans of X11. They probably won't thumb down my video just for me saying that, but I don't care. Anyways, Fedora is pretty cool. They're sticking with Wayland. They're pushing out Wayland. They're one of the distributions that actually promotes Wayland a lot. They're trying to get users to get on Wayland, because the more get on Wayland, the more people uses Wayland, the more bug reports get reported, and just, developers improving it. That's the only way. If people are just having problems, they're always going to go in X11, and a lot of people like X11 because there's a lot of ricers in Linux. If you go on Unix porn on the subreddit, you're going to see a lot of ricers, and a lot of ricers love their i3. They love their window manager, their tile and window manager system. Okay, Hyperlands is probably one of the few that are on a Wayland compositor, but most of it is all X11. And I do miss OpenBox. I miss Fluxbox. I miss a lot of, I love XFCE4, but unfortunately I don't use that anymore because I want to stick with Wayland. I want X11 to just die. And yes, I will miss all the window managers. I had good times writing every single window manager you could think of. Either it was tiling, stacking, whatever. I write a lot back in the day. Believe me, I was a racer. I was a hardcore racer. I had a lot of fun racing many different window managers. You name it, I probably raced it. Seriously, I test them all out. Just like I distro hop almost every system that you can think of. But anyways, I'm a big fan of all that stuff, and I think racing is really fun. But as my racing goes, is adding 2 extensions: Dash to Dock, Blur My Shell, and a color scheme, and my own custom Z shell. So that's basically what I do with this terminal. A lot of people are really liking this in Fedora 41. I see a lot of people reviewing Fedora 41, and they're liking this terminal. This terminal has pretty much every single color scheme out of the box. Like, it has it all. You want color schemes, this thing has it all, and it's all alphabetical order. They have it all. Like, I'm telling you, they have every single color scheme that you like, and they just have everything. It's got Treehouse, that's a good one too. Pretty much they have every single color scheme that's out there, and it's all built into this thing. It's just so great. I like their little previews that they have on this. The only thing I don't like about this terminal is that you don't have transparency options with it, and I wish that you have it. Anyways, that's just me. But either way, I don't really care. The terminal functions properly, but I'm just going to say one thing: Windows Terminal has the option to have it transparent. So even well, I'm not sure about Mac OS. No one uses the terminal application. We all use iTerm, and iTerm you can basically have transparent. I can use out of terminals as well. I do have Kitty terminal installed, but I don't use it. But I should. But it's using it with Bash. But I do have pretty much the same color scheme. It's just that it's using Bash instead of Z shell. I don't know why it's using Bash. That's kind of funny. Is that because I set it up like that? Like I don't recall. So Kitty would be in .config. Kitty. Kitty right there. So kitty.conf. Why is it using Bash though? I don't get it. It's using the correct fonts. I have to use this. Linux Display Server X11. I think. I wonder if I comment it out and save that and reload that. Oops, I don't want to do that. Reload that. Yeah, you see this? It shows it like that. Actually, looks kind of cooler this way. I find it looks better that way. Yeah, I prefer this. This looks cool. It does. I find it looks cool. But like, why is it using Bash though? I don't get that. I don't have it in the option. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah. Anyways, I'll stick with this terminal. I like this terminal, but it's just no transparency. Maybe they're gonna add it in the future. Who knows? And this monitor is not a 22-inch monitor. It's a 32-inch monitor, but I guess they think it's a 22-inch monitor for some odd reason. Though I do have another 22-inch monitor, no, 27-inch monitor. It also says 22-inch on there as well, so it's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just the firmware of the monitor or something. I don't know. I don't know if monitors have firmware, but I believe they do. So yeah, Fedora 41, very good system. I'm happy with it. I had to steal my Bluetooth from my Dell computer because I bought this brand new Ugreen Bluetooth adapter 5.4, and it only works in Windows. This does not work in Manjaro, does not work in Arch Linux, does not work in NixOS, it does not work in Fedora 41 or Fedora 40. Tried them all, and this thing does not work. So even with Debian, did not work. So yeah, I distro hopped that much just to get the blade thing working, and I got fed up, and that's why I installed Windows, and that's why I was all pissed off at Linux, because things were not going my way. And I'm still mad at Linux, but like I said in all my videos, even though if I'm using Windows, I don't care if people consider it cringe or whatever. Okay, I complain about Linux because I want it to be improved. Okay, we can't just go around pretending Linux is great. It'll never get improved if you just keep thinking it's always great, because it's not always great. Linux is terrible. Terrible in a lot of ways, but it's good. I love it. I love playing around with it. I use it all the time. It's like one of my main operating systems I use a lot. I run Windows for my games, but games are being played on it. I'm not using Windows. I was using Windows Desktop, but I miss using GNOME. I miss using Linux. So I install Fedora 41, and I love Fedora. I'm going to stick with Fedora because I think it's a great system. I like the release cycle. I like the stableness. I like it having, like, close to the bleeding edge, but it's stable. It's like a Debian stable with the Arch Linux kind of like combined together. That's what Fedora is. It has a good package manager, just a lot of packages. It has every software that I need to use. Plus, it has FlatHub and Flatpak all set up out of the box. So if you need to use some Flatpak stuff, it's there as well. Though I don't really prefer. I do like this application. I think it's alright, but there's one thing that you can't like randomize all your tracks. It goes by artists and albums, but there's no like tracks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't expand all albums. Like, you can't. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's just it's weird. I don't really like this program, to be honest. I saw someone reviewing it, and it seemed pretty cool, but I like my music box. So if I type record box, or record box, as you say, record box, let's delete it and uninstall. Okay, now let's go back and let's search for there you go. This is a good music player. I really like it. Works really good. I gotta say, look, let me open this up, okay? Okay, it's already set up. I don't sure if I have all my tracks in there. I believe I do, but I always do this because I do download music a lot, so I may have newer albums on there. So I'll just drag and drop that. I believe I had it all in there, but that's okay. Now I know that I have everything in there. Anyways, so yeah, this is a much better music player. I like it because you can do, you can shuffle it, you can search albums, you can play the individual albums, you can stop it from shuffling, just play it single track by track by track by track, go down the list, kind of thing, you know. I like it shows the album art, it shows, lyrics. I believe it's written in Python. It's just a really good application. It just works really well. You can really put it small. It just looks great. It has a lot of theme colors for it. I just think overall this is a great music app. So I believe that if you're gonna go for a flat pack app, I would get the Music Box app. It's really good. Anyways, guys, that is my video. I really like to be on Linux. I love Fedora. I think it's a very clean, professional, and just overall great distribution desktop. Just think it's great. If I'm gonna go Linux, if I'm gonna go back on Linux, if I'm gonna use Linux, I just like Fedora. I think Fedora is really great, and I know I distro hop a lot, and I always ditched Fedora, but I'm gonna do my best to stick with it, right? And hopefully that I stick with it. Anyways, how you going, guys? Cheers.